Hi, I'm Felicia Bronstein, APA's Director of Professional Practice, which means I work with everything that has to do with AICP. And today I'm going to provide you with an orientation to the AICP Candidate Pilot Program. First, what I'm going to do is show you how the program takes the same steps as the traditional path to AICP and offers them in a different order, which allows you to take the exam before earning your professional planning experience. So you see here the traditional sequence. You get your education, you earn your professional planning experience, you take the exam, and then you become AICP. With the candidate program, you enroll in the program and you take the exam fresh out of school when you're in the test-taking mode, and then you become an AICP candidate and you're able to use the title, earn your professional planning experience, and then you become AICP. One cool thing about this program is it's specifically designed for students and recent graduates, and so one of the ways that we make this beneficial for that population is by spreading out the fees associated with becoming AICP. So what we do is, you only paid $20 to enroll in the program, and then to sit for the exam you pay $100, and then after you earn your professional planning experience, you pay the balance of $375. And presumably, that's after you have a couple years of work under your belt and you're in a better position to pay. So just to remind you, the people who are eligible for the candidate program are students and graduates of Planning Accreditation Board, PAB, accredited programs. So that population can enroll in this program at any time throughout the year. It's an online enrollment, and all you have to do is enter in your personal information, like basic information if you're a student, and then you're enrolled. And if you're a graduate, you upload documentation of your graduation. And this here just shows what type of documentation for graduation we will take. So what's important to keep in mind here is that it takes up to 6 weeks for us to review your graduation documentation. So you have to keep that in mind. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then once your enrollment is approved, you're a participant of the program participant. At this point, you're not able to use the designation AICP candidate. That is saved for after you've passed the exam. So as soon as you enroll in the program, there are many features of the program that you can take advantage of. So as you're enrolling, part of that process, you have to check a box that says you're going to commit to the same code of ethics that AICP members do. And that's a pledge to uphold the high standards of practice, ethics, and professional conduct. And this is really worth mentioning on a job interview because that's an asset that you bring to your potential employer. Benefits of the code: certified planners are required to uphold the highest standards of ethics and behavior among the profession. And also you're going to need to be familiar with and practically memorize the code of ethics to prepare for the AICP exam. So you're going to get a head start on that. And then even more importantly, understanding the code helps you negotiate any tough ethical or moral dilemmas you might encounter. I'm going to go into a little more detail about the ethics here to give you a high-level overview of the important points. There are 2 primary ethical obligations associated with the code. One is that you comply with the AICP Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct, and that you address any ethical issues relating to you or an AICP member. So the 3 primary areas to focus on are Section A, of the code, which lists the principles or ideals that all planners should aspire to in their actions. Section B of the Ethics Code, which lists the 26 rules of conduct that should govern a planner's actions. If you violate these rules, you can be the object of a charge of misconduct, including subsequent investigation and possible sanctions. And then the Ethical Principles of Planning is a separate document that was approved by the APA Board of Directors for those involved in the planning process, whether they be planners, elected or appointed officials, or citizens. Although these are not enforceable, like the Code of Ethics, they do provide guidance for non-AICP members. Also, they are a good set of principles to be aware of and, if appropriate, to bring to the attention to those you work with. So there's three main tasks that you should keep in mind. One, if you have any questions about an ethical matter involving yourself or someone else, you should consider contacting the APA Ethics Officer for informal advice. To do so, leave a confidential message on the ethics phone number listed on the website. While this advice is non-binding, it can provide excellent guidance on your actions. If you would like a formal advisory opinion regarding an ethical matter, you should submit your request in writing to the AICP Ethics Committee, care of the Ethics Officer at ethics@planning.org. That's ethics@planning.org. And finally, it's your professional obligation to consider filing a formal complaint if you believe an AICP member has violated the Ethics Code rules of conduct in their professional actions. At the same time, as a candidate program participant, you are subject to the same type of complaint if an AICP member or anyone believes you have violated the rules of conduct. So it goes both ways. So the next feature of the program is the certification maintenance. This slide shows the requirements. The 16 credits, you can start earning them as soon as you enroll, and they're due at the time that you are documenting your professional planning experience at the end of the program. And there is a 5-year time frame associated with the program. So from the time you enroll, you must complete the program within 5 years. Visit the CM webpage to find training opportunities. It doesn't have to be expensive to get your CMs. There's plenty of free credits, and our staff is available to help you find those. And then what's really nice about CM, especially if you're still a student, is you get to take advantage of education outside of the classroom. And what you'll be doing is learning side by side with professional planners within your state and also throughout the country, and that's great networking opportunity. And so because AICP and the AICP Candidate Pilot Program require CM credits, it shows that you are current in professional practice and knowledge. And so that's another thing that's worth mentioning to potential employers, that you're involved in certification maintenance. Another great feature, one of the best, is the optional mentoring. So you don't have to sign up for a mentor, but as soon as you enroll in the program, there is the option for you to get a mentor, and that's someone that's going to help you with professional advice and help you with networking and other advice. Now, another great resource that you should definitely take advantage of, every chapter has a professional development officer. You might have heard the expression PDO, and that's what that stands for. They are there to help you prepare for the exam. They can direct you to exam prep resources. They can also help you find certification maintenance credits. And even once you become AICP, there's still a great resource in terms of CM. So definitely look them up. Here is the link on our website that provides you with a listing of the chapter PDOs. So now this is the hot topic: when can I take the exam? And so we know everybody really, that's a main focus. And so graduation is a requirement in order to register for the exam. So if you graduate in December, the earliest you could take the exam is May. And if you graduate in May, the earliest you can take the exam is November. Now, the first column in this chart mentions December and May, but of course, you can graduate whenever it is that you graduate, but this just is an example. So the enrollment and exam timing are intertwined topics for two reasons. The requirement that you must be a graduate to register for the exam and the 6-week time frame for review of your graduation documentation. Members who join the program as students may update their enrollment at any time upon graduation. But if you want to take a specific exam, you need to pay attention to the deadlines. So for the November exam, you must enroll or upload your graduation documentation by the first Monday in September. And for the May exam, you must enroll or upload your graduation documentation by the first Monday in March. So when I say you must enroll, that would be if you're enrolling as a graduate. So now I'm going to provide you with a high-level view of the steps of taking the exam. So first here, you enroll or update your graduation documentation by the deadline, and we'll get into more detail about that in the next few slides. Then you register for the exam and schedule an exam date with Prometric. So one thing I wanted to mention here is give you a tip, which is do that as soon as possible, because Prometric, the testing locations, you want to get your preferred location, and Prometric houses more exams than just the AICP exam, so they tend to fill up the most popular spots. And then you take the exam, and then you become an AICP candidate. So it's after you pass the exam that you can use the designation. So this now we're getting a little bit more specific on these deadlines that I've been mentioning. This shows the flow of the steps with the timeline. So I'm just going to give you an example as we walk through this here. So if a student graduates in December 2017, enrolls as a participant by the first Monday in March in 2018, they could sit for the exam in May 2018 if they are registered by the deadline at the end of April. Now this chart shows the same information I just showed you in a different way, and it provides the full year view. So it shows if you graduate in December, you take the exam in May, and here's the steps with the timing. And then if you graduate in May, you take the exam in November. So, like I mentioned, once you pass the exam, you can use the AICP candidate designation after your name on your resume, LinkedIn profile, or anywhere else. The designation demonstrates to potential employers that you're on your way to becoming AICP by passing the exam, committing to the Code of Ethics, and the ongoing education through CM, like I've mentioned. And when you're looking for a job, make sure to let potential employers know that the AICP candidate designation means you passed the exam. So they know all you need to do is earn the planning experience in order to become AICP, and this is especially helpful for positions that require AICP to be earned by a certain deadline. So after you earn your professional planning experience, you complete the process by submitting essays. Now here's another tip. Some internships count towards these requirements, so make sure you look into the, how you can go about that. And I want to make sure you don't underestimate the step of preparing your essays. This is a rigorous step in the process that involves peer review of the essays. We have lots of resources available to help explain the requirements available on our website. Your PDO is another great resource. You could draft them and have your PDO review it. But we have a whole guide on preparing the essays with do's and don'ts, and make sure that you review that. And then this shows the months that you can submit your essays. That's June or December. And then once your essays are approved and you pay your AICP dues, you become an AICP member and you're able to use the AICP credential. So congratulations, you're AICP certified. AICP demonstrates excellence. AICP tells employers, clients, elected officials, colleagues, and other planners that you have a high degree of professional standing and expertise in the field of planning. Again, congratulations.